Hey Cameron,
Yes.
count backwards from 100 by sevens.
93. Back by what?
Horse, teacup,
And an antelope.
lawnmower. Oh, damn it. We've both got dementia.
I think so.
Wentworth Season 6, Episode 6. Unbelievable.
It was pretty funny, actually.
I have been diagnosed. I have been diagnosed by Wentworth. I have dementia.
Yeah.
Did anyone listening, did you pass that test?
Yeah, well, we're not very mathematically minded, though, so that's not about dementia.
No, but it's not about. The count backwards by 7 was just to delete the memory to see if you can remember.
Yeah.
There you go. What was it? Tonight's episode, pretty good.
Yeah.
All about Sonia and Liz.
Yes.
What a
And
weird storyline. I can't quite wrap my head around it.
It's a really weird
What did she
storyline.
mean? Like, you're only 15, but I'm just going to say it. Don, he had a nice cock. What the devil was that? Was that part of a dementia, I suppose?
I guess it just came out because she's dementia-fied.
I don't think they even slept together, so I don't know how she has this
Nope.
information, even within her dementia-fied brain. By the way, it's only trauma that she's experiencing.
Really?
The brain can rebounce back from that. Yes, Liz has been traumatised.
Well, you know about that, yeah.
You know, all about trauma, and if anyone's experienced trauma, it's Liz.
Yeah, so
Liz
you
is
don't believe it's
traumatised.
actual dementia?
Oh, the other thing that passed my mind, it's not dementia, but is that possibly Sonia has been poisoning her,
Maybe
to help her lose her memory.
Because
I
even
don't
though,
know.
like, she's been through a lot, like, it sort of was very sudden how all of a sudden she was walking around not knowing where she was.
Yeah, I don't know where it comes from, but it's quite possible. But I mean, she was extremely traumatized.
Extremely. I mean, she's gone through a lot. Sonia.
Yes, she has. How about Sonia feeding Liz to the wolves?
That was... I didn't see that coming. I thought maybe she was going to defend Liz with them all, but then I thought when she threw her down and said this is witness X, I thought, well, why would she have announced it on radio that she was witness X? She wanted the prisoners to do her dirty work for her, in a sense.
Now, you were a bit disappointed that it wasn't on the scale of a Ferguson, for example. That little impromptu get-together in the backyard, in the exercise yard.
Yeah.
What did they do?
They just threw dirt at her, which I don't like. Obviously, I don't want Liz to be hurt, but she lagged pretty seriously. I mean, that's like very punitive in the prison.
The biggest lagger ever to enter the New South Wales or the Australian prison system. And yeah, they throw a pot plant at her.
They throw
Oh my God, not the petunias, please, please.
Yeah,
I need to huddle in the fetal position.
Yeah.
Oh no,
I mean-
cacti.
Well, yeah, like that's not good for your mental health. But like, I mean, they didn't actually hurt her.
Worst happened to me in year 7 at high school, I can tell you that. Liz ain't not nothing. And she's a lagger and I did nothing.
Yeah.
This is not fair. Big in this episode tonight was also Mari Winter. What was going on with Mari Winter tonight?
Well, Rita's still doing all her detective work around her, trying to get that SIM card in there. But now Djokovic is like another Murray that's much more suspicious.
Are you sure you've got Djokovic is the henchman for Mari, right? That's who you're talking about.
Yes.
Are you sure that's not a tennis player? Have you got the name right?
I thought that the first time I heard it.
Djokovic.
Yeah. Djokovic.
Okay. Oh, I know who you're talking about, and that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Most people who've tuned into this podcast know we get the names wrong occasionally. We make up our own names in this house. So Djokovic, but Mari Winter, the master manipulator who uses everything and can see exactly what's going on at all times. She stumbled onto a bit of a lottery win there with Will Jackson.
Yes, and Kaz. So she knows not only about Kaz and Will's relationship, but she also knows that Will's severely traumatized and has got some skeletons in his closet. And then I think she was trying to sympathize with him.
I
in
think
that
she
scene
wants to know.
deliberately.
Once she finds out this secret, she's going to use it. She wants to know what that secret is. That Jackson. Why is Jackson so traumatized, and how can I use it to my advantage?
How can she? She's just like the freak, to be honest.
She's very interesting, and when Ferguson does return to be the governor, because I'm still confident and quite certain that will happen.
Yes.
Then she will be quite the match for the Governor Ferguson.
Yeah, she will be quite the match. Imagine them two clashing heads. That'd be amazing.
I wouldn't mess with me, Winter.
Nor would I, Governor.
There'd be a lot of good stares at each other, wouldn't there? It would be a complete stare down.
Yeah, yeah.
Those two both have good stares.
They do, when they're thinking really hard about what to do, the next move that they're going to make.
Rita Connors, of course, attached to that storyline, showing full force again. She was the warrior last episode.
Yeah.
Welcome to country.
Yeah, welcome to country.
This time, she deliberately gets herself beaten up by your Djokovic's character.
Yeah, because she wanted her in the slot. She wants her out of the way. Because she's very suspicious of Rita, and obviously rightly so, because she's went into the prison with knowledge that there's a rat. And so that's her whole mentality. And Rita's really close to Mari, like, in the scheme of things. So, yeah, she's suspicious.
What do you make of the whole Boomer storyline? This is where I think Wentworth Series 6 is getting a bit off track for me. Don't get me wrong, I'm still enjoying it. Yeah, because there's a lot of... Wentworth became known in the first 1 to 3 series that it was like quite empowering to women and was showcasing female talent from an actress point of view, but even the characters, like it was about female empowerment. I feel like they've become a little bit believing in their own publicity there. It was happening by default through the storylines before. I feel like in Series 6, right from episode 1, they've tried to be very diverse, very politically correct. We had an Asian doctor. We've got all kinds of cultures. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's just when you force social messages into storylines, they can become a little bit, or forced is the best way I can describe it. And I feel like that Boomer storyline, it's a great storyline, but the way that the writing is handling it is not working for me, frankly, because there's too many speeches and it's not prison language anymore. There's too many social speeches.
There are a lot of moments, when Boob will sit there, no, I'm not, and then she'll have a big thing to say and the other one will have a big thing to say. And they've been using that formula a lot to get like that message across.
Covering illiteracy in the prison system and things like that, great. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying I think that the way that they've approached it where they're using the other new inmate, what's her name again? Ruby there was a bit of a speech around fetal alcohol syndrome, for example. So rather than just let the story like blossom like a flower, there was a speech about it. And there's sort of a bit of a golden rule in writing where you just let the story send the message rather than have a character deliver from their lectern the message. And I feel like Wentworth Series 6 has got a little bit preachy that way because, like I say, I feel like the writers are feeling a bit obliged to live up to that reputation that they've gained about telling really rich social stories about women and uncovering social truths, like you say. And finally, in this episode, we had Kaz and Sonia. A bit of a showdown. Now, Kaz, notorious between you and I, we believe very wholeheartedly that Kaz is a very ineffective top dog. How the hell she stayed there, I don't know. She has contradictory values, violence with violence, no violence with the women, but will punish you with violence. Lagging, but lagging's off limits, but she is a lagger herself.
Such a lagger,
I'll do anything to protect my women, including lagging, yet she punishes laggers. And here we are. There she is at the end with Sonia. And it was left on a really interesting note, wasn't it?
It was very interesting.
Everyone's onto Sonia, not just Kaz.
That's true.
Will.
Governor
Bennett.
Yes,
they're all onto her.
They're about to fall on top of her. I think.
Are Sonia's days numbered?
I think so. I think they've really taken the character and squeezed her everything, every storyline they could out of her, and she's been a really cool character for them to work with. But I feel like they're trying to wrap her up. And I feel like they're trying to do it in a way that they can keep Liz as well, because they know that people are so devoted to her because she's been there since season 1.
Point of disagreement between you and I.
Really?
No, if anyone's out, it's Liz. She will be bald by the end and she will be gone. Well, not necessarily gone, but they're not getting rid of Sonia. No way. No way. What do people listening think?
Actually,
I'm interested to know. Is it the end of Sonia?
Yeah, well, it'd be interesting to know because, like, with Ferguson, they got rid of, they seemingly got rid of her. Now, whether she comes back or not, that would be interesting.
As top dog.
And, Sonia's similar.
And governor.
Yeah, she's like an antagonist and maybe she'll come back or maybe she'll go and maybe she won't.
And a big shout out for all you Australian TV fans out there who would have noticed Paul Robinson popping up as Sonia's solicitor right at the end. What? Who's that man? That's Paul Robinson from Neighbours. What's he doing there? I think he's still on Neighbours too as Paul Robinson. I don't think he's even left. So how dare he pop up in another Australian series? Interrupting my fantasy with a little dose of old Neighbours reality. Thank you very much. And I sat there in that scene just thinking of Daphne and Des and Jason and Mike.
Yeah, they bring back a lot of quite
Not
iconic
Jason,
Australian actors, don't they? Even the one that acted as Bee's friend in the earlier seasons.
Oh, look, there's been so many ex-Neighbours in this. It's unbelievable. We had the Charlene's mother. We've had Anne Haddie, who played a solicitor, Paul.
Yeah.
I can't even begin to tell you. And I have a feeling that Harold has had something to do with Wentworth too. Not in it, but I think he might have written... No, I'm very sorry. He wrote for the original Prisoner, which I was surprised by. Yeah. Anyway, that's a bit of our review on episode 6 of Series 6, Wentworth. We're really looking forward to episode 7. Unfortunately, yes. Cameron, I have to say that I saw something on the internet. I'm trying hard. No, I'm not going to spoil anything, and people don't have to turn us off. But I did see that somebody on the internet has leaked a synopsis of every episode of this series now. It's out there, so I can't go on Facebook anymore. I can't even log on.
We need to tell our listeners, don't read spoilers.
No, you can listen to this for spoilers if you want. That's okay. Yeah. We'll only spoil the one that you've just watched. But I do know the synopsis is out there, but I will share this, and it's not spoiling anything, that everyone says that episode 8 is the one to watch.
Really?
Yeah. And
well, that's sort of annoying.
I don't even like knowing that. It's true, but, if I'm annoyed, then I want to share that with others. Okay? We're interested to know what people listening think of episode 6 in series 6 of Wentworth. How is this whole series panning out for you? We're probably about halfway through. We'd love to hear from you, and stay tuned for next week.